Hello, Warrior Crew, and welcome to Warrior Camping. Now, today I'm cooking one of my favourites because I really like what I'm going to cook today. So, I've got one tigris loaded up, Tom shoe loaded up, I've got my little cup there full of rice, that little pot there full of gravy granules. In there, I've got some bacon, peppers, onions, tomato, and I've got a nice packet of pork liver. So yeah, today I am doing liver and bacon with peppers and that, onion and rice with some gravy. Oh, I like this one. I'm looking forward to this because I'm hungry and this is one I cook quite a lot because I do love a bit of liver and bacon. I am a fan of the liver and bacon and onions. Yeah, it's proper tasty British food. And I've got quite a lot here today because this was meant to be for Jess as well. She was meant to be up here with me this weekend, but at the last minute she had to work and that. So she cancelled on me. So I'd already bought a load of food. So really, this liver and that is enough here for two people. But I'm just going to pig out and eat it myself and then have a little snooze in the tent. Yeah, happy days. So I'm just chopping the onion up. I'm only going to chop it into like biggish chunks. I'm not chopping it all up small because I quite like, when you do the liver and bacon, I quite like chunky bits of onion in it. So that's what I'm doing. But if you like the onion all chopped up really small, then chop it small. You don't have to do it like I'm doing it. You put your own spin on it. Do it however you want it. Now, if Jess was here this weekend, if she had come up, I was going to do this a bit different. I was still going to do the liver and bacon and that the same, but I've got some carrots with me and some mange too, and I've got some potatoes, so I was going to do it with like potatoes and that and some veg. But as she's not come up here, I'm not doing all that lot just for me. I've got some rice with me. I like it with the rice. I'm a fan of the liver and bacon and the rice. So as I've got rice with me, I'm just going to do it with rice. I'll take the potatoes and the veg back home and use it in the week because it won't go off on the potatoes and the veg. But the liver and the bacon needs using, so I will use all of that up. So I shall do it with the rice because Jess isn't here. Otherwise, I would have been doing it with the vegetables and mash, or maybe even fried potatoes, depending on how I felt when I went to cook. I might have done mash, I might have even done fried potatoes or sliced potatoes or something. But as she ain't here, I'm just going to do the rice, because I like it with rice. And it's a lot less poncing around and doing all vegetables and mash and that. Just do the rice nice and quick and easy. So this will be a quick and easy one, really. And a really tasty one this will be. So if you haven't had liver and bacon with the rice, try it. If you're a fan of liver and bacon, I know most people have it with mash and all the bits and all that, but try it with rice. It really works well with rice, the liver and bacon. Well, I think so anyway. So if you're a fan of the liver and bacon, try it with rice and see if you like it, because I think it's really nice. It really works well together. So let's just fire up the old one tigris, get him into life. And I do it indoors, right? I do the liver and bacon with all the bits. Do it with rice. And I'm a bit greedy, so I do myself a little bowl of chips with it. So I have like a side bowl full of chips with the liver and bacon and the rice. And yeah, that is a munch. Take it from me. That is a proper man's pig out munch. Liver and bacon with all the bits on a bed of rice and then a nice little bowl of chips on the side. Yeah, happy days. That is a proper greedy man's pig out munch. Really tasty, that one, with a bowl of chips on the side. And I do chips sometimes on these Twig stoves and that, but you need to bring out all the oil and all that, so it is a bit of poncing around when you want to do the chips. If I was out car camping and that, I'd have all that with me and be doing chips and stuff. Or sometimes, like this, you can do, right, if you cook a load of chips indoors, you can just wrap them in tin foil or something, bring them up, and then like chuck them in your frying pan and re-cook them on the old Twig stove. Bit of salt and pepper in them and that, and re-cook them through. They are nice done like that. That's quite an easy way of doing chips. I do that a bit, do a load indoors and then bring them up with me. So I've just put the onions into the pan. Get the onions cooking first, because they will take quite a long time to cook down the onions, whereas like the liver and the bacon and that doesn't really take that long to cook. The peppers will. The peppers will take quite a while to cook, so that's the next thing I shall do, is get the peppers going in this pan. So I shall chop up the pepper. And I've got a bit of green pepper, a bit of yellow pepper, a bit of red pepper. So I've got the old traffic light combo of peppers. So I'm just going to cut this up, not really small, but a bit smaller than the onion, so it cooks down nice. You get all the flavours going out of the old peppers. So that's all I'm doing, chopping up the pepper, a bit of green, little bit of yellow pepper, and then I've got a bit of red pepper, and then I've got some tomatoes I'm going to chop up and throw in there as well, because they'll just give it a bit of like a tomatoey flavour. That'd be nice, put the old tomatoes in it. You don't have to do this with the peppers. These would be nice, just liver, bacon and onions. That is the traditional way of doing it, innit? But I like normally bung peppers in it and tomatoes. I'd even put mushrooms in it if I had some, whatever. I chuck all sorts in liver and bacon. Mushrooms go nice in it. I'd put them in near the end though, so they don't cook that much, the mushrooms. And I did have garlic to put in this. I had a clove of garlic that I would have chopped up one of the little cloves and thrown it in here now with the onions and the peppers and got it cooking down. But I know I got it ready indoors. I got a big bulb of garlic and I snapped 2 cloves off to bring with me, but I can't find them, so I must have just left them indoors somewhere. I've hunted through all my stuff in case they fell out of my rucksack or something, but I can't find them, so they're probably just sitting on the side indoors. So no garlic for me in this today. But if you're doing this, if you like a little bit of garlic, put a clove of garlic in, because I think it makes it taste a little bit nicer. Well, as long as you like the garlic. If you don't like garlic, then don't put none in. So I'll chop my tomatoes up next and get the old tomatoes in there and get them cooking down with that lot. So I've got some nice little cherry tomatoes with me, courtesy of the lovely man next door who grows these in his greenhouse. So these have been nice, these little tomatoes. He's got a ton of them at the minute growing in his greenhouse, these little cherry tomatoes. He's been giving me loads of them. I like them, they are really tasty and juicy, these old tomatoes. He does grow good tomato, the man next door to me, I'll give him that. So that's all I'm doing, I'm just chopping them into little chunks like that and just throw them in, and they will just add a little bit of flavour and they'll help with the little sauce because they're like cooked down a bit. But it doesn't really matter if you haven't got any tomatoes, it won't make a lot of difference to the flavour. I'm just sort of chucking them in because I've got them with me. I might as well use them up. And they will add a tiny bit of flavour to it. But if you haven't got the tomatoes, don't worry about it. These will still be really tasty without the tomatoes. They are not doing a lot in it, the tomatoes. But if you have got the tomatoes, bung them in, because then you are getting one of your 5 a day. So I've been up the boot fair today. I've literally just got back. I've just done a coffee and that. I had a little chill out for about half hour. I had a nice bottle of Bishop's Finger Ale because I like that one. And then I just had a little chill and started cooking this. So yeah, up the boot fair today. I did find some stuff. And yes, I did find a tent. So the old boot fair tent will be on this week because I did find one. So happy days, the old boot fair tent is sitting in my rucksack just over there by my tent. So another week, I've found another tent up the boot fair. I'm bound to get a week soon where I don't find one, because I keep finding them, but bound to get a week soon where there ain't none up there. But like today, there was quite a few up there today. Yeah, I found quite a lot of tents today. I did find a lot of the little pop-ups and that I didn't really want. I found a few of the big heavy tents that I didn't really want. But I did find, like, probably 3 or 4 tents that if I'd had the car with me, I probably would have bought them. Like, just to have a look at them on the channel. So it was different to last week. Like, last week, I really struggled to find a tent. There was nothing up there, really. There was the one tent I've got and one big heavy tent. That was it last week. But, like, this week, there was loads of them up there. So you can't never tell, innit? But I'm bound to get a week where there ain't none up there. So like today, I did find a couple of 3 or 4 tents that I might have bought if I had the car with me. But as I was walking and that, I was only buying one. I might have bought 2 if one of them looked really good. I got the one that I think's good. The one I bought, as soon as I see it, I was like, right, I'm having that. Because I want to know what it is. It is a Van Gogh Hydra 250 Duo. Now, I know what a Van Gogh Hydra is. It's like a little tent with a slopey front. But the 250 Duo, I've never heard of. And it looks like a vintage tent. So sometimes the 250 means it's a bigger size. Or the 250 could even mean it's got a porch on the front. And sometimes when them tents are called a Duo, it means they got a double door. So you don't know. I don't know what this tent is. But it could be a Van Gogh Hydra with a porch on it and 2 doors. Maybe, I don't really know, but it could be, and that's a bit strange because the Hydra is like a little tiny tent, isn't it? So I don't know what it is. Van Gogh Hydra 250 Duo. So as soon as I see that, I had a little haggle with a bloke and I got it for a tenner. And like I was like, right, I'm going to have that one, Van Gogh Hydra 250 Duo. I didn't find nothing else that looked as good as that. I just found it. I thought, oh, vintage Van Gogh, I'm having that Hydra. And it does look like a vintage one because it's got an old bag and all that with it. So it did sort of look all there. I had a little look in the bag. So I was like, right, and I found that quite early on today, so I didn't like move on looking for any more tents. I just bought it there and then, and it was in my rucksack. So that was like boot fair tent bought, but then walking round further, I kept finding others. But I'm still glad I got the one I got, because I didn't find nothing that I would have wanted more than that. It's an old vintage Van Gogh, of course I wanted that one. The others were like nothing special that I found, but I would have been happy with them if I hadn't found nothing else. There was a good few that I would have bought up there today, and I probably would have bought 2 today. But I'd bought like a gas stove, like a double burner, one of them blue ones that folds out, and that's quite heavy, so I had that as well. So I thought, oh no, I'm not buying another tent. As you can see there, I've got my old rice measurement again, so I'm doing 3/4 of a cup of rice, two lots of 3/4 of a cup of water. So with the rice, you put twice the amount of water in your pot to the rice, and then it's same old routine. Do not stir your rice, do not touch it, just let it do its own thing, and 9 times out of 10 your rice will come out nice. That one time it will go very wrong and be a big lump of gloop, but 9 times out of 10 it will work nice, the old rice. So yeah, like I said, I would have bought another tent because I did find an old Euro hike. I think it was called a Euro hike 7. It looked like a nice old vintage tent. If I hadn't have bought this heavy like gas burner, the cooker, I think I would have bought that 7 as well. But I didn't. I thought, oh, I ain't carrying that. And the person who had that 7 on their stall, they're there every week. So the chances are, if they don't sell that, I could possibly get that next week because they will be there. I know the person on the stall. So if they didn't sell that tent, I reckon next week when I go, there will be a Euro Hike 7 sitting there, unless they sell it. So as you see, I've just fired up the old Tom shoe, and I'll get the rice straight on, get that going now. Get the rice on, get it boiling away, because it does take a little bit of time to do the rice. It's not like done in 2 minutes. It takes a good like 10 minutes or something to do the rice on one of these Twig stoves. Time it boils and all gets going and all that will take a little bit of time. So yeah, like I bought this gas stove, and it's one of them blue ones that like folds out in the case. When you see it, everyone will have seen one before. I think they sell them everywhere. I've got a feeling they're like 50 quid or something like that. And it like folds out with 2 gas burners on it, so it folds down into a little like blue case, metal. It's quite heavy. It's not the lightweight little stove, but it's 2 burners. And like I've used one before, 'cause my mate's dad's got one. So when we've been round his house out in the old garden and that, he'd get it out and we'd do burgers and that on it. So I've used one of these burners before, they are quite good. So I see it is a bit tatty and that, this thing. It is a little bit rusty and a bit of tatty, so it is an old one. But I went to the bloke, how much is your burner, mate? He went, oh, you can have that for a tenner, mate. I was like, alright, mate. And then I went to walk off. And as I went to walk off, he went to me, don't you want the burner? I went, nah, not really, mate. It's a bit heavy, innit? He went, you can have it for a fiver. So before I'd even thought of it, I went £4. And he went, yeah, go on then, take it. So I bought it for £4. So that was it, I had it. And it is quite heavy. I had that in my rucksack and the tent. So when I'm finding other tents, I'm thinking, oh, I don't need to carry another tent. Because, yet again, it was red hot on Sunday up the boot fair. But I was very tempted to buy the Euro Hike 7. Because it looked a proper old vintage Euro Hike. But I didn't. So I just put my bacon in there, and that is the old misshapen bacon. So I just chuck all that bacon in there, get that cooking away. Nice bit of bacon throw in there. And now the bags. These bags are like, you wash them out and reuse them. So you don't throw them away, just keep washing them and reusing them. So these bags should be pretty good. Just save on the waste. Keep washing them out, reusing them. Wash them out and reuse them. So they should be good. Amy's given me 5 of them. So I've got 5 of them bags. I'll see how I get on with them. So I've just chucked the bacon in the pan. So that'll get down cooking nice. All cooking away good. The rice should be boiling soon in a minute. Because old Tom's sure he's going like a good one at the moment. So yeah, like today, I think if I'd had the car with me today, I would have come home with a boot full of tents. I really would have. I found a nice barbecue up there and all, but I couldn't carry that, not after buying this gas burner. There was like one of them little tabletop barbecues that you lift the lid up. It looked really nice, only small, but I was like, oh, I'm not carrying that. So I did find a ton of stuff today. If I'd had the car with me, I would have filled the car right up today. But I didn't. As I was walking, I just got one tent and that big heavy gas burner. I did buy some other little bits for myself. So I still did get a fair amount of stuff, but like to do on the channel, I got my boot fair tent, which I'll do tomorrow. I'll probably pitch that in the garden, get Jess round and we do that, have a look at the old boot fair tent. And then I'll show you the gas burner thing I've got. I'll do that in the little boot fair bargains video, because it was a bargain, it was only £4. And afterwards, I thought, oh, I wish I hadn't bought that gas burner because I could have had another tent, but I'd already bought it, so it was too late then. I did, when I saw the Euro Hike 7, I thought, oh, if I hadn't have bought that gas burner, I would have had that Euro Hike 7. But I couldn't take the burner back, innit? So the bloke, yeah, mate, can I have my £4 back? I've found a tent, I don't want this now. You can't do that. So I had it then, and at the end of the day, I looked at it a minute ago before I started cooking this. I had a little look at it. It is alright. It will be a nice little burner, so you get a nice big gas bottle connected up to it. It's got 2 burners on it and that. It should be a good thing if it all works, especially for £4. And it will be alright with the channel, because I bet a lot of people have got them burners, so we can do a bit of cooking with that and all that, get it going. Because I haven't really done nothing yet with the gas and that. And I haven't got one of them like double burners. I've got some little gas burners, but not one of them double ones. So it'd be good to use in my garden and that. Be nice, it'd be easy to cook a bit of stuff out in the garden with a gas stove. Or when you go out camping and you go places where you're not allowed to use these Twig stoves, because you can't use these everywhere. Some places won't let you fire up the Twig stove. It'd be good to take like that, especially if you got the car, because it is quite heavy. You're not lugging it about. But for £4, yeah, I was happy with it really. It was just at the time when I saw that Euro Hike 7, I thought, oh, I wish I hadn't have bought this gas thing. I could have had that tent. But I'm over that now and I'm past it. And now I've looked at the gas stove. I am happy I've got the gas stove. And the Euro Hike 7 might be there next week. So one Tigris is going like a good un, and Tom Shoe's going good for the rice, because that's all you want to really do with the rice. You don't want a massive great box full of ton of flames. You burn the rice, it'd be too hot for it. Try and, whatever little stove you got your rice on, if you're doing it on a twig stove, try and keep the flame down a bit. I know it's sort of hard to do, but you can do it a bit just by not overloading it with twigs. But like in the one Tigris, cooking this like in the wok, I can have that blazing like a good one. But I'll try not to get like Tom Shoe going like that with the rice on it. So that's all cooking down nicely now. About time put my liver in a minute. Because the liver really don't take long. If you overcook the liver too much, it goes tough. So you don't want to cook it that much, the liver, really. Well, not on the twig stove. If I was like doing this at home, I might do it like this in a wok and then put it in a big pot, and I might put it in the oven for half an hour just on like a low heat and just keep it warming through for an hour in the oven, because I think all the flavours mix together better if you do that, and it ends up tasting nicer. But obviously I can't do that out here camping. I'm just going to have to eat it straight out of the wok. But indoors I do, not all the time, but if I'm in no rush, I will just cook it and then put it in my big pot and put it in the oven for like half hour or something like that. And I do think it tastes better because all the flavours all mingled together. It tastes lovely, do it like that. And also, if you saw the price of this liver, this pack I've got here is from Tesco's. It was £1.53. So it is cheap, the liver, isn't it? That is why I like it. And, well, I like it anyway, but it's just an extra little sweetener on top of it, because the liver's really cheap. You buy other meat and get this much, it's going to cost you £7, £8. But liver, this pack, £1.53. So it is a bargain, the old liver, and very tasty. And like indoors, I'm saying about doing it with the pot. Right, just chuck the liver in the pan, pour all that juice in there, that'll all add to the flavour and get that cooking away. So like indoors, with the big pot, quite a lot of the time, I'll make massive pot full. So I make enough for myself for 2 days, put it in my pot, and then the next day I'll have it like that night. And the next day I'll have it again, just warm it up and cook some potatoes or something with it, a bit of veg. And I do think on that second day it tastes even better, because it's had like 24 hours for all them juices and that to mix together. So on the second day it tastes even better, I think, this liver and that. So try that one. Make yourself a massive pot full, have half one day and the other half the next, and see if you think it tastes better on that day too. A lot of food I cook, I do like that. I do a massive pot full that'll do me 2 days, and a lot of it does taste better on that second day, because it's had time to all the flavours to mingle together. Especially like curries and that, they always taste better on the second day when they've had like 24 hours for all the flavours to mix together. Yeah, curry definitely tastes better on day 2. And I think the old spaghetti bolognese does as well. I do that in a big pot, make all the sauce with fresh tomatoes and all that, do the mince, but I make a load of it. So I have it that night, and then I have that the next day. Just cook some fresh spaghetti with it the next day, and away I go on the day 2 spag bowl, and that tastes better on day 2, I swear it does. So I just get in there and give the old liver and that a nice little stir around. Once the liver's cooked a bit, I will chop it up a bit. I'll just do it with the end of this little wooden spatula. It's like sharpish, the end of this wooden spatula, so I do it a lot. Like, and once this liver's cooked, it'll be nice and soft, so the spatula will just chop it up easy. It's easier than doing it on that little bit of wooden chopping board I've got here, and I'll be getting blood everywhere and all over my hands and all that. I just find it easier. Cook it a little bit till it goes soft, and then chop it up in the pan. Don't do it with your knife in a pan like that, because you'll damage the pan. Wouldn't really matter in my pan, because this wok is pretty knackered anyway. It's quite old, this wok. I had it for years using it indoors, and then when I bought a new one for indoors, this become my old like camping one. But it still works good, so there's nothing wrong with it, but it is a bit knackered inside, where it has been used tons, this old wok. See there, the rice is boiling away like good, and that's all you want to do with the rice, just leave it boiling like that. Now it's going, don't touch it. I know it's tempting, get in there with your fork and have a look how it's doing, but don't do it, trust me, just leave it and then let it do its own thing. And then hopefully it'll come out nice, because the moment you get in there stirring that rice, you have ruined it. So don't do it. Just get back in with the old liver, and that's sort of like ready. I'll chop that up a little bit now with my old spatula. So that's all I'm doing, just do it with the end of that. It's sharp enough, just cuts through it, because this liver's nice and soft now. Now it has cooked a little bit, it's softened right up, and the end of this spatula just goes through it easy, look, no problem. Whereas if I'd have done it in the beginning with my knife, it'd have made a right mess, and it's quite tough before you cook it, the liver, so it's not hard to cut, but it's easier to do it like this, do you know what I mean? It is easier like this. Well, I find it easier anyway, and a lot less messy. So I'm not going to chop it into little, like, tiny bits, but I will chop it up a bit, like, while it's in the pan like this. It's just easier to do it like this, I find. I've always done it like this, just done it in the pan and chopped it up. And even indoors I would do it like this, because you ain't getting all the blood everywhere when you're chopping it up, like before you start cooking it, because it does make a right mess, the old liver, and when you do it like this there is no mess, so it is a good way of doing it. And it is starting to smell nice, this old liver and bacon, and it's a bit of a lot of people don't like the old liver and bacon, innit? I know, if you've watched this far of the video, obviously, whoever is still watching, you like the liver and bacon, so that is why you are watching. But a lot of people don't like it, do they? Like my family and that, we've had liver and bacon. My mum used to do it and that when we was kids and grands, and we've always eaten it. All of us love it. But I've had other friends standing against and like, do you want dinner tonight? They're like, yeah, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'll do liver and bacon and that. Oh, no, I'm not eating that. No, I don't want no dinner. So you end up having to cook something else because they won't eat it. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people turn their nose straight up at the liver and bacon, when I think liver, bacon and onions is a really, really good one, isn't it? Really, really tasty. Or even liver on a breakfast. Do like a breakfast. Liver, bacon, eggs, fried potatoes, few tomatoes, something like that. It's a lovely breakfast. You put liver with it as well, but a lot of people just will not eat liver. I think that's why it's so cheap in the supermarket, isn't it? Because it ain't a big seller. You find that all the stuff that sells well, that people want, that is the high price stuff, isn't it? Whatever doesn't sell that well is the cheaper stuff. So that's a win-win for me with the liver, because I really love liver. I think it's lovely. And the kidneys and stuff like that, I really like them. And all that stuff is really cheap, because they don't sell that much of it, I don't think. So it is really cheap. If everyone wanted liver, a little pack like what I just had would be £10. But it ain't. People don't want it, so it was £1.53. And you can see there, that rice is done really. That's how you want it. It's just a little bit of water left in that, bubbling away. So I'll take that off in a second and just stand it on the side with the lid on my cup or the pot. Just leave it standing for a bit and it'll just absorb the last of that water, and then the rice is done. You don't really want to do it any more than that, because if you boil all the water out of the rice so there is no moisture left in it whatsoever, it'll start all burning and sticking to the bottom of the pot. So you just want to boil as much water off it as you can, and then like take it off, put your lid on your pot and just stand it for a minute to absorb the last of the water, and then you should have good rice really, long as you haven't fiddled about with it. So the liver's all looking done. I should get some water in there and start some gravy going with that lot. Just do some gravy, bit of water in there, put some old gravy granules in there and just mix it up a bit and then let it all cook through with the old gravy. See there with the rice, it still has got a tiny bit of water going in there because it's still bubbling, but as soon as that starts disappearing I shall get that rice off. It really isn't far now off being done, the old rice. And as soon as that water warms up that I've just poured in there, as soon as that starts bubbling, I'll get the old gravy granules in there. Get some gravy going with the old liver and bacon. So the rice is looking done really. Them bubbles are slowing down now. There's not many bubbles going on there. There's still a little bit of moisture in there, look, but hardly anything. So now it's time to get that rice off, else it will start sticking to the bottom of the pot. And it will start getting like a burnt flavour to the old rice, and you don't want that, so you just got to learn. That's the only difficult bit about rice, just learning when to take it off. And once you've sussed that, you will find the rice easy. Just take it off at the right moment and leave it, and it is easy. Like, I've not touched that, I've not done anything to that rice, I've just let it do its own thing. The only bit you need to know is just when to know when to get it off. Like, I've done rice so much I sort of know how to do it, but when I first started doing it and out on these Twig stoves, I used to burn it all the time and mess it up because I used to overcook it and burn it, or I used to stir it and then it would all go sticky and horrible. And I just remember someone telling me, never stir your rice, don't do it, that's where you're going wrong. So once I knew that, it didn't take me long to kind of master the rice a little bit, because I never touched it ever again, and it always seems to come out good. So that's all I've got, a little pot there of little gravy granules. So I'll just chuck them in there, make a nice bit of gravy with the old liver and bacon. And I know what you're all thinking at home now. You're all shouting at the telly, no mate, not gravy and rice. That's wrong, mate. Don't do that, mate. That's just wrong. Your cat is right, mate. You are an idiot doing that. Not rice and gravy. No one does that. What's wrong with you, mate? Yeah, I am with the cat, mate. You are an idiot. I know it sort of ain't right, but trust me, it works. And I will do this gravy down so it's really thick. It's not like I'm going to have, like, gravy like you'd have on a roast dinner. It would just boil down nice and thick and be like a sauce. So with the rice, it will really work, trust me. It's not like having gravy poured over rice the way I'm doing this. It will be nice, trust me. It'll thicken right up, this gravy, and it'll be more like a sauce than gravy. It really will. So I'll agree with you that I am an idiot, but I'll disagree with you that it is not right. Because it is right, it works really well. Try it for yourself, it's really tasty done like this. Without the gravy, it would not be as nice, this dish. It needs that like gravy sauce going round it, and then it'll be really, really tasty, this one. Try it for yourself. Try it with the gravy or try it without the gravy and see which way you prefer it. And what you could do now at this moment is chuck some hot sauce in there. That'd be nice as well. If you are a bit of a fan of things nice and hot and spicy, chuck some hot sauce in this now. That'll give it a nice bit of a kick. Be lovely with the old rice. I do it sometimes where I put hot sauce in. Sometimes I do it like this without. Sometimes I do it with. Or you could chop some chillies up and bung them in. If you want to take it to another level, make it really hot, you could chop a few chillies up and bung them in with it. That'd work well. If you like something with a bit of heat running through it, that would be a right nice one. Bung a few chillies in here. Especially winter time, if you're out winter camping, make this, bung a few chillies in it. Cool, that'd be a lovely old winter warmer. Keep you nice and warm while you are out winter camping. But I'm not doing that today. It's red hot today, so I am going traditional with just the liver, bacon and onion flavour. And alright, I've chucked peppers and tomatoes in it, but they're not changing it that much. It will still have that traditional liver, bacon and onion flavour. So look there, that's pretty much done. All the bits of the liver are like breaking down, going into that gravy, making it into more like a sauce. So it's not like gravy, The rice has stood for long enough now. Look, that rice looks really nice. It's absorbed the last of the water. That's ready to pour on my old plate, really, the rice. Done. The liver and that's pretty much done. So I'm pretty much good to go, really. I'll just give that another minute, just to thicken that gravy up a bit more. Oh, and I am hungry now, looking at this and smelling this. Smells absolutely lovely, this does. And I am hungry. And I love the old liver and bacon, so I am really, really looking forward to this. I've got a couple of bottles of ale left with me, so I shall have them whilst eating this, and then have a lovely old sleep in my tent. Because I didn't drink that many beers last night. I had a hip flask of rum with me, so I was drinking that. And it was a new rum to me. Someone gave me a bottle of rum. It's called Captain Morgan's Tiki Rum. Oh, and I'll tell you what, it was really nice. I had it with some vanilla Coke and some normal Coke, and yeah, cool, it was a really good one. So if you are a bit of a fan of the old rum, I'd look out for that one. Captain Morgan's Tiki Rum, yeah, it was really nice. Especially with the vanilla Coke, it was better than with normal Coke. Tiki Rum and vanilla Coke, I can highly recommend. There you go, see, my rice has come out really nice. So all you need to do, I never stirred that, I never done anything to that, and that rice is really come out good. And it will come out good, you get in the habit of it. 9 times out of 10 you get rice as nice as that. The one time the rice will go wrong, because it always does, the rice. Now and again the rice always goes wrong, it's just what rice does. But today it has come out lovely. So that's it, rice is done. Look, I've got a big plate of rice there. So I should just make myself a nice little pond in the middle of the rice, barricade the rice around the edge of the plate, make a nice little clearing in the middle, and then fill that up with a lovely tasty liver and bacon and onions. And that is going to be really tasty. That is a man's camping dinner. Alright, it's not traditional Sunday afternoon lunch, but to me this is just as nice. Although I do love a roast dinner, I also love this as well. I love the old liver and bacon and that. So to me this is a good Sunday afternoon dinner, especially washed down. I've got a couple of bottles of ale with me. I've got a hobgoblin and another bishop's finger. So happy days, I shall drink them. I might have an hour or two sleep in the tent, and then pack up and wander home later. So happy days, I shall have a really lovely Sunday afternoon. And look at that, that is a big greedy man's Sunday afternoon camping dinner. Very tasty. Now I'm going to turn the plate round because it does make it taste better. It really does, trust me. Try it at home, it makes your food taste better. And I don't know what's wrong with my camera. The light is clicking on and off, so it's like disco dinner. So this afternoon we are having the disco dinner because the camera wants to pretend that it is a nightclub. And if I knew the camera was going to act like this, I would have put my dancing shoes on. So that big plate of food there gets the thumbs up from me. That looks fantastic with the disco lights flashing on and off on it. It looks really fantastic. I don't know whether to eat it or dance with it. If only I'd packed my dancing shoes. So I'm going to give it one more little spin for good luck, just to get out the last of the flavours. Why the disco lights are flashing. They might add to the flavour as well, innit? Try that. I shall let you know how it goes. Do the disco lights bring out more flavour? So I shall let you know after I've eaten this. Do the lights add flavour or do they take the flavour away? Tune in to the next exciting episode of What Is That Idiot Burning Today to find out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you can join me again and see what I am pitching, looking at, buying or burning. I'm off now to tuck into my lovely disco dinner and then have a few bottles of ale and have a lovely Sunday afternoon snooze. So let's go. Disco dinner time.